Okay, we're here with Larry Warnock, who is the CEO of Phurnace?
Yes, CEO.
Okay, cool. Why don't you tell me a little bit about what Phurnace is?
So we're a software company that was started here in Austin, and we make a tool to help large companies manage huge networks of web application servers. So when you go to the web and use an application, behind that is a web application server, and our tool helps them manage the changes and constant updates to those servers.
Very cool. So when you started with the company, I know that Daniel, one of the founders, had gone through Rob's sort of skunkworks Texas Venture Labs process.
Right.
Maybe you could just address when you came into that process and sort of how much Rob had helped Daniel up to that point.
Exactly. So Daniel had built the business plan and had taken the idea and was starting to do market validation, reaching out to customers and prospects and understanding really what the pain points were. They decided, Rob, through counseling, decided that it was really time to turn it into a professional business. And I've had experience in California and in Texas in starting multiple companies and taking them public or through acquisition. So I then met the two founders, joined them, and then we built upon what they had discovered about the customer and basically wrapped a company around it. So we took all the validation and the ideas and went through a step-by-step process that the first thing we did was got the message tighter, raised a little bit of angel money, cleaned up the product and the message, raised some venture money, and then we were off to the races. 3 years later, we had grown the company substantially, and we had an exit with BMC Software, and I actually managed that through as well, since I had managed an acquisition as well.
Very cool. So you've seen startups in a lot of different forms and formats and industries, and maybe if you could just talk about how important it is for an organization like Texas Venture Labs to help out entrepreneurs like Daniel who have an idea but don't quite know how to put a business around it.
That's a great question. So if you think about it, an entrepreneur has a passion about something. But in order for a business to really take hold, serve its customers, and be successful, there's a lot of moving parts that have to be surrounded around that entrepreneur. And most entrepreneurs don't understand what to do next, or who to turn to, or how to get funding, or build a management team, or go to market, hire a sales organization, decide what kind of sales model. So the idea is to take some experience from the business community with a passionate entrepreneur with a great idea and technology, and then actually grow the business step by step. And that was what I brought to the table was a brilliant entrepreneur who had come up with this idea with Daniel, the technologist, Robert, who actually wrote the code, but they needed that next piece was, now how do I turn this into a viable business? And that's, with my contacts in the business community, was able to bring the attorneys, the venture capitalists, et cetera, to make that happen.
Cool. So what was your impressions tonight of the event, of the announcement?
Really exciting. I think this is needed because there needs to be a roadmap. Entrepreneurs need help to get from point A to point D. And there's a lot of twists and turns in that process. And I know there's great ideas right now in the university, whether they're in an engineering lab or they're in the head of a business student, but they're not sure how to take that idea and actually go to market. And you can't read that in a book. You need an experience, or you need a laboratory to do that. So I think what the Texas Venture Labs is going to do is create a place, an environment, and a model to take great ideas and at least give them a chance to survive. It's not a guarantee, because a bunch of them will fail. That's okay. But it will be a proven model to give it the best chance possible.
Perfect. Thanks, Larry.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, man.